Hi guys, my phone is so precariously balanced. Okay, so as promised, I'm going to give some practical techniques to manifest. As I hopefully have already covered in other videos, you can manifest using different techniques and you don't need to use all of the techniques. And whatever technique works for you is great. And you can just assume that whatever you're going to do is going to work, and it will work even if that's just like clicking your fingers. Like for me, whenever I manifest something now, I click my fingers and it now associates with in my brain of me getting something I want. So if I want something, I'll also be like, it's done, and click my fingers. And that can almost be like an instant trigger manifestation for me because I've associated it with what I want happening. But I do think at the very minimum, something that you should do is be affirming for what you want. So in this video, we're going to talk about affirmations and mental diet. We'll talk about those things. Okay, so lots of people have got whatever they wanted just through affirming for it, including an artist I know who did one of my old radio, because I used to have a radio series. She did a radio episode with me. She's called Gertruda Gillete, and she did a project called Successful Art Project, where she literally went on Instagram and just said affirmations about being a successful artist and having a solo show. And she managed to get a solo show in London, although she was relatively unheard of in London before she did the project, because she was from elsewhere. I'm not sure exactly where she's from. I can't remember. Sorry. But anyway, that's an example of someone who used affirmations to literally get something in the art world. I know some of my people who follow me are artists, so that's an interesting story. But also lots of people have manifested their specific person, money. I've used it to manifest specific people, money. If I suddenly get a bill, I'll just affirm to myself that like my Etsy is so busy with orders or whatever, and it will. I do use visualization as well, but I have just got things through affirmations. Mainly the thing I've changed through affirmations is my self-concept. And it is important to work on your self-concept if you have a poor self-concept, because otherwise everything you manifest you may not kind of keep. And this is a scientific thing. It's rewiring your connections and breaking you out of patterns around your programming. So it has a scientific basis, affirmations. And there's some, if you think of Louise Hay, she's like the mother of self-love, I guess. She uses affirmations, but there's also neuro-linguistic programming and things like that that are all about this. And it's about the patterns that you've had in your life up until this point. So if you think about it, you've had, however old you are, you've had that many years of programming to think a certain way. And there may be limited thoughts in there that are your ego protecting you, because it doesn't want something to happen again, but it might not be useful. So if you're not actively affirming for what you want, you're running on your old program, and so you're going to get what you've already had. And there's no such thing as a good or bad manifester. Just through thinking, you are manifesting. Your thoughts, this is scientific, your thoughts affect your emotions, and your thoughts affect your actions, and that affects your reality. That affects how people behave towards you. How you think affects how you behave towards them and how they behave towards you. And that's where Neville Goddard says, everyone is you pushed out, or everyone is a mirror. When you're manifesting, everything you get is just a mirror of what you feel inside. That's kind of that's a scientific way to look at it, or a less spiritual way to look at it. I believe it is a bit more spiritual than that. And someone like Florence Scovel Shinn would say your word is your wand. Like you're literally creating things through your language. And if you think of the Bible, on the first day there was light, maybe. That's a similar thing of like speaking things into existence. So it crosses a lot of spiritual practice, this idea of speaking something into existence, especially like spell work as well, and chanting and things like that. But anyway, it's not just about the things you say out loud. It's not just about how you affirm to yourself. Of course, like when I'm working with clients and they come to me and they usually have a bad self-concept, I will say to them, you need to say as many affirmations as you can to begin with, because you need to really saturate your mind with this stuff. But it's also the little thoughts you have throughout the day. So it's no good just affirming, I'm a goddess, I am loved, and then the rest of the day thinking no one loves me and I'm fat. Do you see what I mean? Like, you have to be catching the thoughts that you have throughout the day, your everyday little thoughts. Those are the things that create your dominant thoughts, and those are the things that create your assumptions, and those are the things that get pushed out and manifest. So it's no good just doing like 10% of the day doing affirmations and the rest of the 90% of the day thinking against them. So it's really a new habit. When people ask me like, how long does it take? Like, how long will the manifestation plan take me a day? I'm like, it's like not like that. It's like a whole new way of being. But the thing is, you're constantly thinking, so you're constantly manifesting. But this is just, you're using your thoughts towards what you want rather than what you already think is, you know, what you believe, which is not serving you. At first it may be difficult, which is why you need to saturate your mind. When I started saying into a mirror like, I am first best or I am chosen, I didn't really believe it, and you don't have to, but now when I do it, it's like easy for me, like it rolls off my tongue. And some people say at first like it triggers them, and I would say keep persisting through it, but also if it feels bad and you really hate it, you can try softer statements. So you can mix affirmations with ask-formations. So instead of I am always chosen, why is it that I am always chosen? And then if your brain needs an answer, you can just say, because I decide so, because this is my new story, because I'm a master manifester. So you can mix up affirmations with ask-formations or why statements and see which one of those you prefer. Both of them work exactly the same, and if you need an answer to the why, just say, because I'm a master manifester. Now the other thing that's important is these affirmations that you're giving yourself, they need to be in a way that you would speak. So a very popular YouTube trending affirmation is like, you know, I'm a sexy goddess queen, or you know, I'm the boss of my reality. That works for me. Or I am a priority, I'm first best, you know, things like that. And if that is the kind of language that works for you, great. If not, you need to make it in a language that works for you. Like, and if you are from somewhere else, maybe like you're not English, maybe put it into your speaking language as well, your first language. It will work if you do it in English, but I think it will work better if you do it in both languages, because your subconscious knows how you speak, so it's like it's gonna absorb it better if it's how you speak. So if it's like, I'm a badass, great. If it's like, I'm a sexy goddess, or I am a wonderful person, you know, whatever it is, however you speak in your head is how you need to affirm. So even when I work with clients and I'm doing my like psychic readings and tarot readings to see their blocks so that I can make their affirmations specific for them, I'll say to them nowadays, especially, like, but put these affirmations that I'm going to give you in language that you would kind of, it feels natural to you. Yeah, if you want to work with me, in the description box below is a link where I do psychic readings and also manifestation packages. And the manifestation stuff is using law of attraction, law of assumption, psychic stuff, tarot readings, and spell work and ritual to do something that is pulling on all of these different things. But if not, and you want to just try affirming for yourself, try to make affirmations that are specific to you. So I would be identifying my clients' blocks, but if you're doing it for yourself, don't just use generic affirmations. Actually get a piece of paper, write down on the piece of paper very honestly everything you think and feel about yourself and the topic that you're trying to manifest in. So if it's love, everything you think about love or relationships in general and yourself. And then you want to make statements that are the opposite to your limiting beliefs. Unless you think everything is great, that's fine. But if you think like love is hard to come by, or I'm not chosen, or everything ends badly, men are cheats, you know, whatever, it's like general stuff and stuff about yourself, you need to be affirming the opposite. So say you think all men are useless or cheating or something, it's like, I attract the most loving, supportive men. Men just want to love me and care for me. Oh, and then if you want to do some instant revision, we're going to have a different video on revision. It's changing the past through manifestation. You can do it with scripting or affirmations or visualizations, but you can do it instantly with your affirmations by, say you had a history of being cheated on. Instead, you could do an affirmation that is, I am always chosen. I am always in loving, committed relationships. My partner always prioritizes me. My partner always chooses me. everyone has always only had eyes for me. Do you see what I mean? Using always is instant revision. Another thing is if you put like everything is so natural in your affirmation. So it's so natural for me to make £100 a day. It's normal for me to make £100 a day. That word also makes it like normal to your subconscious. So it's like, oh yeah, that's normal. So basically what you're doing is you're telling a new story, which at first you may not believe, but eventually the more you say it, the more you start to believe it. It becomes easier for you to believe, you can say it easily, and you'll start behaving differently and it will start coming true. Whether you believe it just from a psychological perspective or from a more spiritual perspective, it does work. What else was I going to say? Now remember as well, there is a purge period. Some people believe in it, some people don't. So if you don't take this on, don't listen to what I'm saying. But if you've tried manifesting and you've noticed that things have suddenly got worse in your life, it's because you just don't instantly accept what you're saying as the new story, or your old beliefs are kind of fighting against the new beliefs. So you're a bit double-minded and you're a bit pulled in different directions and you're like doubting yourself. So you're doing all of the stuff to manifest, but the rest of the time you're doubting yourself. So it reflects this kind of doubt, or you get hot and cold behavior from someone you're interested in, or things may get worse because you're purging all of your old beliefs. So all of this stuff will come up that really kind of shows you the opposite at first. Keep persisting through it. It will change. There's a bit of a lag when you manifest. It's not instant unless you kind of really get used to doing it. Whenever I have something successfully manifest, I click my fingers so that when I want something, I'm like, it's done, and I associate that with it already being done, and it makes it faster for me. So it's kind of like, once you start manifesting, you believe in it more, it happens easier. So try things that don't seem that difficult to you at first. People say like, manifest a cup of coffee. I actually like, for me, if I ever want to manifest money, because I have like a bougie thing about like buying coffee. This is a bit off topic, but I love buying myself a cup of coffee every day. The amount of like my boyfriends who've been like, you should just buy a coffee machine. They don't get it. It's not the same. I love going and getting my coffee. It feels bougie. It feels luxurious, but it's not like racking up loads of debt for money you don't have. But it's like spending money on yourself for something that's like, you know, a bit throwaway but luxurious. Anyway, if I'm ever like a bit worried about money, you would think like, oh, maybe don't buy that coffee every day. Instead, I'm like, oh, I'm going to buy myself a coffee today, because I associate that with me like having a lot of money spare, and then things will shift. So you have to kind of act as if as well. We'll get into a different video with that, but it's not in a delusional way that's destructive. But for me, like buying a coffee is fine. But because I associate buying a coffee with something so specific, that when I'm like, oh, it's so easy to manifest a cup of coffee, or like some people say things like, oh, manifesting someone to message me is as easy as manifesting a cup of coffee. For me, that feels like really wrong. Like I don't find it easy to manifest coffee, because it's like I associate it with something nice I buy myself. But people do say like, try with a cup of coffee. When I started doing that with like with money, I was like, it's just as easy for me to make £300 a day as to manifest a cup of coffee. What happened was like, it became really, really hard for me to manifest money because I had this belief about coffee. That's where I'm saying like, you need to kind of make the rules that are based on your beliefs. So that's why working with someone like me, it's like I do the thing to check what I need to do with you. But also if you're not going to do that, then you need to write this list of what your limiting beliefs are so you can do the opposite. So you're not just taking on general affirmations that may not work for you because it's not in the language, or because a cup of coffee has a real significance to you. Because people think that it's easy to manifest certain things rather than other things because they don't have resistance to it, because they believe it's easy to get coffee from wherever. Whereas for me, getting coffee is something very sacred. So it's not like just finding a feather in the street for me. Do you see what I mean? So you might want to say like, oh, I'm going to try manifesting a cup of coffee or feathers, or my friend to message me saying something they wouldn't normally say, and try with the affirmations for that. And then once you get results, you'll feel more confident, and then you can do the things that you think are harder. But actually there's no harder or easier things to manifest. It's just your belief system around what you're manifesting. Anyway, I've got a bit off topic, but you know, it's still on topic. Okay, the other thing is, when you're doing your affirmations, you have to keep this mental diet. So it's more about, I'd rather you guys were affirming every time you have a negative limiting belief popping up in your brain about what you're trying to manifest. Every time that happens, being like, fuck you, I am lovable when you think no one loves me, then if you're doing I am love, I am loving, I am loved 20 times in the mirror, and the rest of the day you're like, no one loves me. Do you see what I mean? So be consistent and make sure you're on top of these little thoughts you have. They are the ones that matter. If you're on top of them, your mental diet and your affirmations, any other technique you do is just going to help you more, depending on if you're visual or auditory or you like writing. But the main thing is just the thoughts. Are you really telling me it's as easy as just thinking to get whatever I want? I'm literally telling you that. It's kind of easy. You don't need to watch like endless videos on it either. I'm going to put these videos here for you, but I'm not saying you have to try every technique I say. If one of them starts to work for you, just keep doing that. Don't keep endlessly binge watching how to do it or trying new techniques. You literally manifest all the time through your thoughts, so it is as simple as changing your thoughts, but you have to be persistent, and your ego will come in and be like, no, and you have to fight it. And that's where, you know, getting a manifestation package or something is good, because I'll give a lot of different things to do that will keep you on track throughout a month, and then by then you'll start to have reprogrammed yourself. It can take a while to reprogram yourself, or it can be very quick. It just depends, but don't feel bad if you haven't manifested immediately. Just keep going. You will eventually manifest what you want. The next video I'm going to do is about scripting, and I'm going to give some examples of pretty much everything I've written as scripting from like 2013. I found my old book has come true. So next video will be all about scripting. Much love, light and positivity, and repeat after me. Watching this video means that you're going to manifest everything you ever wanted. Watching this video means you're going to manifest everything you've ever wanted. Okay guys, take care.